Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are really getting into some fascinating source material. We're looking at the intersection of artificial intelligence and, well, service delivery in the staffing industry. And this isn't just surface level stuff. We're talking about blueprints for transformation, really. So if you've been wondering how tech moves beyond just, automating simple tasks to actually redefining client relationships, well, you are definitely in the right place. We've got a pretty serious stack of sources here, packed with actionable data, quantitative results. It's going to be good.
That's absolutely right. And our mission today is pretty clear, pretty laser focused, I'd say. We need to pull out the measurable, the actionable insights. How exactly is AI changing client satisfaction? How is it lifting service quality? For you listening, we want to get past the buzzwords. We need to look at the proof points, the numbers, the how and the why behind these, frankly, massive investments happening right now.
Okay, let's unpack that. So the core theme, it seems pretty unmistakable across all our material. AI is generating insights now that, well, they elevate service quality. They're setting totally new benchmarks for how responsive, how effective these services can be. This feels like it's fundamentally changing the nature of the service itself, doesn't it? It's not just like doing the same thing a bit faster.
Precisely. It's really a systemic overhaul. This shift towards data-driven service delivery, that's the core concept we need to grasp. And the high-level goals for using AI here, they've definitely matured beyond just efficiency. The drive now is, well, it's twofold. Drastically improve how effective placements are and dramatically speed up responsiveness.
So why now? Why are staffing firms pouring all this capital into AI right now? What's the sort of broader industry context here? What's forcing this shift?
Yeah, good question. If we connect the dots, it really comes down to competition. And honestly, volatility. Staffing is just a hyper-competitive market. Always has been. Firms are investing heavily in AI, basically, to stand out. They need to move away from just relying on, historical data or gut feelings or maybe anecdotal success stories. They need real-time predictive insights just to stay in the game. The expectation is that AI reshapes that traditional, often kind of slow client-agency relationship, turns it into something more dynamic, like a partnership, leveraging data, to meet market demands that are changing faster than ever.
Right, so the differentiator isn't just having good talent anymore. I mean, everyone claims they have that. The real edge is the delivery mechanism, the intelligence baked into that relationship.
Exactly. It means every placement, every client interaction becomes a strategic, data-supported decision, not just a gut feeling.
Okay, that leads us perfectly into the how, the mechanisms for improvement. Our sources highlight four, let's say, distinct pillars where AI is driving these measurable, quantitative upgrades in service. Let's start with the big one. Personalized matching. We know AI matches people to jobs, but how does it get the kind of significant improvement that justifies the big spend?
Well, this goes way beyond simple keyword screening. That's the key thing. The AI analyzes both really detailed client needs and comprehensive candidate profiles. It uses advanced machine learning algorithms for this. The crucial difference, I think, is that it moves past just qualifications on paper. It analyzes complex behavioral patterns and what the sources call predictive success indicators.
Hold on, predictive success indicators. That sounds a bit abstract. How does machine learning handle the squishy stuff, like cultural fit or resilience, things human recruiters always said they were best at assessing?
Right, that's the interesting part. It does this by analyzing correlations across literally thousands, maybe millions of data points from past placements. So for example, it might spot that candidates who stayed longest at a particular client tend to share certain soft skills. Maybe these are implied in all project descriptions or they have specific educational paths. It's essentially a latent trait analysis, pretty sophisticated stuff. And this deep learning process, according to the data, has improved match accuracy by, get this, 35%.
Wow, 35%.
Yeah. And critically, it also reduces the time to hire. Because of that initial shortlist, it's already optimized for a better, potentially longer-term fit.
35% is absolutely a game changer.
Yeah.
You're not just filling seats faster, you're potentially building more stability for the client. Okay, pillar two then. Real-time feedback. So you make great match, but things can still go wrong after placement, right? Fast. You need that ability to course correct almost instantly.
Exactly. And this is where the tech really shows its depth. I mean, we've had text analysis tools for years, right? But what makes this AI-driven real-time feedback different from, say, a quarterly satisfaction survey? It's the immediacy. and the depth of the analysis. Driven by natural language processing NLP. NLP is used to process all these unstructured feedback streams, think emails, quick check-in notes, maybe even candidate exit interviews. And crucially, it's pulling from both clients and candidates.
Okay, so how does the NLP actually make that feedback actionable? In real time, I mean.
Well, it's not just scanning for keywords, it's doing deep sentiment analysis. It's spotting shifts in emotional tone, and it's proactively tagging specific themes that emerge. So instead of waiting for someone to formally complain, the AI might flag, say, a growing cluster of comments around poor onboarding or maybe managerial style issues across several contractors at the same client site.
Ah, okay.
This gives you granular, immediate insights. It lets the agency adjust service delivery, maybe offer some coaching, like today, before a small hiccup turns into a major contract problem.
That definitely shifts the agency role from just hoping things are okay to actively sensing even minor signals of distress. Very different. All right, pillar 3. Performance analytics. This feels like the really strategic piece. Beyond just the current job, how does AI help with long-term strategy, with retention?
This is absolutely where the predictive power starts to really justify the investment, I think. Staffing agencies are using predictive models now to track outcomes across their entire client portfolio, not just one-off placements. We're talking about looking for patterns of success and failure, but at scale. For instance, the AI might flag that placements in, say, a specific department at client X, when those people are sourced from a certain town, have a 40% higher chance of leaving within 6 months.
Wow. That kind of insight would completely change your sourcing strategy for that client, wouldn't it?
Exactly right. By finding these trends, both good and bad, these models optimize delivery not just for the current job opening, but for the whole future of the client relationship. It's not just optimization, it's strategic risk mitigation, really. And this rigorous process, the analytics, the adjustments based on them, the sources show, this boosts overall client retention by a pretty remarkable 20%.
20% retention lift just from deep analytics. That shows how valuable finding those hidden patterns really is. That's solid, bankable, competitive intelligence. Okay, and finally, pillar 4, proactive support. This sounds like the holy grail of service, right? Fixing problems before the client even knows they have one.
Indeed. This pillar relies on some quite sophisticated early warning systems. The core idea is the AI analyzes dozens of different, often unrelated indicators that might signal trouble ahead. It's looking for the precursor signals, before any formal issue is actually raised by the client.
Can you give me a concrete example? What might one of those early warning signals look like in practice?
Sure. It could be something subtle, like the system might notice an unusual spike in how much a key temporary employee is being utilized. Maybe that's coupled with a slight drop in that client's internal HR support ticket frequency. What might that suggest? Maybe internal resources are stretched thin, problems are being ignored or put off.
I see. So the AI connects those dots.
Exactly. By spotting these kinds of trends, the agency can step in before things blow up. They might offer a tailored solution, maybe suggest an interim support person, or just initiate a proactive check-in call with the hiring manager. Basically, preventing the stress from turning into turnover or dissatisfaction down the line.
That really is true consultative partnership. It moves the agency way beyond being just a reactive vendor. They become an essential predictive partner who can kind of see around corners for the client.
It really is the definition of exceeding expectations, because you're removing obstacles the client maybe didn't even realize were forming in their path.
Okay, let's tie all this together now. We've got the 35% accuracy boost, the NLP course corrections, that 20% retention lift from analytics. How does this all connect back to the bottom line, to a client perception? What's the broader industry data telling us?
Yeah, this is where the industry-wide data really provides compelling proof of concept. A comprehensive 2025 survey, quite recent, reveals that 70% of clients report higher satisfaction, specifically with AI-enhanced staffing services. That's compared directly to traditional models.
70%, that's huge.
It is. That figure really validates that these internal tech efficiencies, they are translating into tangible, perceived quality improvements for the actual end user, the client.
70% higher satisfaction is a massive endorsement. But here's a question. If everyone adopts AI, doesn't that competitive advantage eventually just disappear? What do the sources say about the overall industry trend?
That's a fair point. While the early adopters definitely got an initial lead, the collective effect is rapidly raising the baseline for the entire industry. The growing use of AI across the board, it's driving roughly a 25% overall increase in industry client retention rates currently. What's really standing out is that this 25% figure, it's fast becoming the new competitive benchmark, the new table stakes, if you will. Firms that haven't invested in this data-driven model are now genuinely at risk. They risk consistently underperforming compared to their peers simply because competitors are delivering a demonstrably higher level of predictive service and achieving better retention.
Wow. So if you're not seeing those kinds of gains internally, you're not just standing still, you're actually losing ground in the market. It's becoming essential just to compete effectively.
It really is. AI is delivering tangible, measurable benefits, accuracy, speed, long-term retention. It has fundamentally redefined what high-quality service even means in this very competitive space.
Okay, let's look ahead then. If AI is already integrating these four pillars so effectively, what does the immediate future hold based on these insights? Where's the next big leap coming from?
Well, the sources strongly indicate the next major advance will come as AI integrates even more deeply, more seamlessly with other technologies already in place. Specifically, we're talking about enterprise CRM systems and perhaps more intriguingly, the Internet of Things, or IoT.
IoT, you mean like sensors?
Exactly. Think about sensors, smart building systems, things providing real-time, maybe even ambient data on workplace conditions, perhaps stress indicators, project velocity, that kind of thing.
That sounds potentially intense. How does integrating AI with IoT actually change the game for staffing agencies?
Well, this deeper integration allows for hyper-personalized support, truly predictive support. By linking those performance analytics, we talked about Pillar 3, with real-time operational data coming directly from a client's own environment via IoT. Agencies could potentially forecast staffing needs, resource bottlenecks, potential skill gaps months in advance. They could ensure they not only meet today's expectations, but consistently exceed them by planning for client needs that maybe haven't even fully formed internally at the client's end yet.
Okay, here's where my mind goes. This gets really interesting. Connecting that idea, the deep predictive support with IoT integration, the AI spotting issues before they even happen. If AI can predict a client's future staffing needs, maybe even better than the client knows them themselves, how's the very definition of exceeding expectations going to keep evolving, especially in service industries like this?
That's the provocative question, isn't it?
It feels like this shift fundamentally transfers some of the burden of strategic planning, maybe even forecasting, from the client to the agency. It demands a much more anticipatory, sophisticated level of partnership.
It absolutely does. And that raises a huge question for everyone listening, particularly if you're in any service industry that relies on that kind of deep partnership. The bar for what counts as high quality service, it's clearly being raised continuously, moving from just reacting well towards something closer to, well, near clairvoyance.
Definitely something to think about. A huge thank you for joining us on this deep dive into how AI is transforming staffing services. We really hope these detailed insights give you, our listener, a clearer view of where AI is driving real, measurable growth and satisfaction in this competitive landscape. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.